and welcome to this week's Wildlife Matters podcast. And in this special Valentine's edition, we dive into the fascinating and often surprising ways that wildlife seeks out a mate. From elaborate courtship dances performed under the moonlight to intriguing rituals that span the animal kingdom, we'll uncover the incredible strategies and behaviours that ensure that love blooms in the wild. And in this week's Mindful Moments, we invite you to join us in a tranquil winter wonderland. Feel the serene hush of the world around us as we immerse ourselves in soft and gentle falling of snowflakes. Listen to the crisp sounds of winter as we wander through the woodland searching for signs of life. We'll bring you along on this exciting adventure in a future episode where we'll reveal which tracks we found that tell the stories of the creatures that call this frosty landscape home. And in this week's Wildlife Matters and Nature News, from award-winning wildlife photography to amazing wildlife encounters and hunt hounds running riot in a small village, we have got the highlights that are making waves in the natural world. So let's head on over to the news desk for this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News. Hello and welcome to this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News. As ever, we have our unique take on the very latest news about wildlife and nature, and today we're starting with a superpod of dolphins that have been seen off the Sussex coast. Hundreds of dolphins have been spotted in the sea off Sussex. Jake Davison filmed a pod of common dolphins swimming 10 miles off the coast of Eastbourne. He regularly documents his fishing trips on his YouTube channel, but he said it's rare to see this many dolphins together in the Sussex waters. Thea Taylor of the Sussex Dolphin Project told Wildlife Matters that although we occasionally receive reports of superpods, this video evidence allows us to share this incredible spectacle more wildly. Superpods typically form when there is a high abundance of prey in the area. Jake reported seeing large concentrations of pelagic fish, which are schooling in significant numbers at this time of the year. Unfortunately, pelagic fish are also targeted by the super trawlers currently fishing in and around the area, putting this pod of dolphins directly in harm's way. Common dolphins can be found all around the UK. They are an offshore species that often come inshore to feed. Common dolphins can be identified by their distinctive colour pattern, which is often called an hourglass. They are fast swimmers, able to reach speeds of up to 30 miles an hour in the water, and they frequently ride the bow waves of boats. The Sussex Dolphin Project protects local dolphin species through research, awareness and education. To support its research efforts, the organisation encourages anyone who spots dolphins to take a photo or video and to send it along with the location details to the Sussex Dolphin Project via their website. With this and recent whale sightings, the English Channel has been alive with cetaceans this winter, which is so exciting. And you can be sure that Wildlife Matters will keep you updated with all the latest sightings. Our second story is photographer Ian Wood's award-winning anti-cull photograph of a badger looking at the Stop the Cull logo, which has won the public vote for Wildlife Photographer of the Year. The image captured by Ian Wood won first place in the People's Choice Award. It beats 25 shortlisted images at the Natural History Museum exhibition. This year, 76 4,000 votes were cast worldwide to determine the winner. The shortlist for the People's Choice was selected from nearly 60,000 entries submitted to this year's Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition. A panel of international experts chose the 100 winning images. The museum's director, Dr. Douglas Gurr, told Wildlife Matters, Ian's flawlessly timed image offers a unique glimpse into nature's interaction with the human world, underscoring the importance of understanding urban wildlife. His exceptional photograph reminds us that local nature and wildlife, often just outside our homes, can both inspire and captivate us. The winning photograph was taken after residents of St Leonard's began leaving food scraps on the pavement for some of the local foxes. Ian noticed that badgers from a nearby set were also coming to forage. One night, when he saw a badger walking along the pavement by his wall, he set up a small hide at the edge of the road to capture the animal as it reached for food. The hide was illuminated only by a lamppost. Winning the award has been truly humbling, said Ian. However, he emphasised the photograph's darker side by advocating for an end to badger culling in the UK, a practice aimed at controlling the spread of bovine tuberculosis. Ian said, I live in rural Dorset, where I'm on a rewilding mission to enhance habitats for a wide array of wildlife. The badger cull, which is still ongoing, has decimated their numbers, and I fear that unless the cull is stopped, we'll only see badgers in urban settings in several parts of England. I do hope this image will raise awareness about the damaging effects of the badger cull and help push for change. The 5 People's Choices images will be on display online and on the interactive voting screens in the Natural History Museum's flagship exhibition, which will run until the end of June 2025. And our final story today is about the Bicester and Wadden Chase hunt hounds, which ran riot in an Oxfordshire village. The hunt has apologised after hounds were filmed running through a private garden and orchard co-owned by former Labour Party leader and current MP Ed Miliband. Residents of Claydon, near Bicester, anonymously reported the incident to the League Against Cruel Sports. The footage captured the hounds on private property on Mollington Road, where Mr Miliband owns one of the 3 cottages. Additionally, doorbell camera footage showed the hunt riding through the village. The hounds belonged to the Bicester Hunt with Wadden Chase, which confirmed that they were conducting trail hunting activities in the area on the day of the incident, which they claim is in line with the Hunting Act. A spokesman for the hunt told Wildlife Matters some hounds entered the village after straying from the scent laid for them to follow, but our professional staff members retrieved them within minutes. If hounds deviate from their intended trail, we review our procedures, and that process is ongoing. Our hounds participate in lawful trail hunting activities 4 days a week throughout the season, and incidents of this nature are incredibly rare. In contrast, village residents expressed their shock, anger and disgust at the hunt's behaviour, which they claimed was inconsistent with their assertion that they were following a pre-laid trail. Some residents reported that the hunt trespassed on several properties and areas, including a public park. One resident who asked to remain anonymous told Wildlife Matters, "It was very upsetting to see the hunt running rampant like this. It seemed as if they had either lost control of their dogs or were hunting for wild animals, which goes against their claim of trail hunting. It was terrifying to have hounds so close to our home where we have cats." Although not captured on film during the incident on Mollington Road, residents also reported seeing a muntjac deer fleeing from the hunt towards a busy road. and another resident witnessed a fox in Claydon village trying to escape from the hound. Chris Luffingham, acting chief executive at the League Against Cruel Sport, said, "This incident should not have occurred, especially 20 years after this so-called sport was supposedly banned. The outrage expressed by residents shows that hunts are not wanted in rural communities." And that has been this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News. It's a rare spectacle when snow blankets the south of England, transforming familiar landscapes into a serene winter wonderland. So, when such an enchanting opportunity unfolds, it becomes the perfect opportunity to venture outdoors and observe the delicate traces left by animals in the pristine white cover. I was lucky to have this experience recently. As I strolled through the tranquil woodland, delicate snowflakes began to fall once more. Within moments, the light flurry evolved into a heavy cascade, propelled by a brisk, invigorating wind that whispered through the branches. The atmosphere was mesmerizing. The world around me seemed to slip into a peaceful hush, each flake contributing to a soft quilt of stillness that enveloped the earth. Despite its quietude, this experience was anything but silent. Equipped with my recording device, I captured the beautiful sounds of nature during these moments, eager to share the essence of this winter wonderland with you on this week's Wildlife Matters Mindful Moments. I believe that time spent immersed in nature, no matter the weather, is time well spent. It has profound benefits for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, allowing you to reconnect and ground yourself in the breathtaking tapestry of the natural world. Snowflakes gently settled on my skin, filling me with elation as I revelled in the refreshing chill that enveloped me. It was an extraordinary experience, and I was fortunate to be the only one in the woods that morning. However, I wasn't alone. I shared the experience with the intriguing wildlife that call this serene landscape home, and I look forward to featuring their stories on the Wildlife Matters podcast soon. And now it's time for this week's Wildlife Matters main feature. And with love all around us for Saint Valentine's Day this Friday, and I thought it would be a good time to take a somewhat tongue-in-cheek look at the incredible ways that wildlife finds its mate. So brace yourself as we launch into a hormone-driven world on this week's Wildlife Matters main feature. Hello and welcome to this week's Wildlife Matters main feature. And as it's a Valentine's Day special, we're looking at some of the incredible ways that wildlife finds love. In today's world where dating apps and swiping left or right have taken over the romantic landscape, finding the one has become a top priority for many. But did you know that humans are not the only ones who crave love and companionship? Many creatures in the natural world also seek a partner and go to great lengths to find one. From faithful swans and wolves to solitary pine martens and sexton beetles that bury animal carcasses, the animal kingdom is full of fascinating tales of love and mystery. Take the adder, for example. When searching for a mate, they shed their skin to reveal a shiny new coat and use their tongue to woo their female counterparts. The pine marten is a fiercely territorial animal. It has only a few days every year when the female is receptive to mating. But the sexton beetle really takes the cake regarding unique mating habits. You see, they use food, often in the form of dead animal carcasses, to bond with their partners. Within an hour of death, they will locate a corpse, sometimes as far as 2 miles away, bury it, strip away the fur or feathers, and douse it with an antibacterial secretion to slow down the decomposition. Talk about a dreadful way to show your affection. So, whether it's staying with one partner for life or changing partners, wildlife will go to great lengths to ensure the continuation of their species. And who knew that the animal kingdom was so full of love and drama? The world of wildlife has a unique approach to courtship. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. What works best can differ for each and every species. So suppose you don't conform to the traditional idea of being with only one partner, well then take heart. In that case, you're in good company with some of the most fascinating creatures. If you believe in magic, you could try ornithromancy, predicting your future partner based on the first bird you see on Valentine's Day. If you see a sparrow, that might indicate that your future will be with someone poor. While spotting a goldfinch could just mean you'll hit the jackpot and meet a millionaire. If a robin flies overhead, it's believed you'll end up with a sailor. Whilst a blackbird is said to predict that you will marry a vicar. A flock of doves might suggest a long and happy marriage, but if you spot an owl or a woodpecker, you're thought to be destined to stay single for the rest of your days. For the brave-hearted, there is the tradition of heading to the local graveyard at midnight on the February the 13th to conjure up a ghostly vision of a person you will go on to marry. Now, this involves running around the church 12 times while chanting a prescribed poem. Now, we're not going to share that with you today, but you can find it, and if you are feeling adventurous, why not? Give it a try. Roses are always a popular gift on Valentine's Day, and the colour you receive could hold some significance. So, if your partner presents you with a big bunch of roses on Valentine's Day, what secrets may they reveal? Well, red roses symbolise eternal love and passion, whilst pink roses signify admiration and appreciation. Perfect for the early days of a relationship. Yellow roses perfectly show friendship and happiness, whilst orange roses symbolise desire and enthusiasm. And if you're looking for something genuinely enchanting, lilac roses are said to represent love at first sight. But roses aren't the only way to predict your romantic future. According to legend, twisting the stem of an apple whilst reciting the names of potential spouses can reveal the name of your future partner. And if you want to know how many children you'll have, count the seeds inside the apple. People have also turned to herbs and spices for romantic guidance for centuries. For example, placing a sprig of fragrant rosemary under your pillow might reveal the identity of your future spouse in your dreams. And if you want to know if your crush sent you that mysterious Valentine's Day card, try placing a slip of paper with your names under your pillow and reciting a poem. So, whether you're a hopeless romantic or a skeptic, these old fashioned love traditions will pique your interest. However, you plan on spending your Valentine's Day, maybe sipping champagne with your significant other or binge eating chocolates in bed with your cat, some members of the animal kingdom are sacrificing their lives in the name of love. So let's look at some of the unusual ways that wildlife finds love. From kinky spider bondage to death-inducing foreplay, Wildlife Matters dives into the fascinatingly depraved world of animals' mating rituals. And humans aren't the only species that get a little rough in the bedroom. The mating ritual of the nursery spiders is downright kinky. Before courting, the male presents the female with the gift of an insect wrapped in web. But once his gift is accepted, things get a little more X-rated. The male nursery web spiders will bond with their female partners by tying the female's front legs with silken cords before mating. This ritual, performed only by some males, actually decreases the chance of the female eating them right after they've mated. Yes, this is a thing that really happens, since first she would have to free herself. The bondage might also help the male get a second mating, as the female can't run off or eat him after their first encounter, thus increasing his chances of becoming a father. These cords are known as a bridal veil. Nursery web spiders aren't the only species of spider that tie up their partners, though, but they are perhaps the only spiders that may add pheromones to the cords, which may make the female more interested in mating. Male honeybees sacrifice their lives for the chance of becoming a dad. They can mate with the queen bee an average of 7 to 10 times, and they do it in mid-flight before their endophallus or penis is finally ripped off of their body. Ouch. The endophallus stays inside the queen bee until the next male comes along and either is futile in his attempted mating or he will remove the previous male's phallus so he can then mate with the queen. As for the previous male, well, he's doomed. When the endophallus is torn off, the male's abdomen rips open and he dies shortly after that. Interestingly, but less gruesome, queen honeybees have only one mating flight. Still, they may mate with several males during this time and can store between 5 and 6 million sperm within their spermathea. Anglerfish take the phrase "till death do us part" to a whole new level. Finding a mate in the deep ocean can be challenging, especially because males are much smaller than females. However, when a male anglerfish finds a female, he bites onto her and never lets go for the rest of his life. Talk about an inseparable bond. He even becomes part of her circulatory system and feeds on her blood to survive. But wait, there's more. Most land snails are hermaphrodites, which means that they have both male and female sexual organs and can reproduce as either. Some species even have a love dart, a calcium sword that they use to stab other snails, transferring sperm-boosting secretions. However, this love dart can reduce fertility in the long term and cause severe injury or even death. Researchers have found that stabbed snails only lived around 3/4 as long as those who had not been penetrated with a love dart or calcium sword, and that they actually laid fewer eggs. With such a high cost to the snails, it's a wonder why they even evolved these weapons. But the love dart discourages the stabbed snail from mating with anyone else. Whether that's because of the secretions or because of the intense pain, ensuring the stabber that his genes will be passed on to the offspring. Male pufferfish are the alluring artists of the marine world. They create intricate circular patterns on the seafloor to attract females by using their fins and bodies to move sand and develop ridges. They then decorate their nests with pieces of shell and coral, hoping to appeal to the aesthetic desires of a female pufferfish. It takes the male 7 to 10 days to complete his unique nest. If a female appears and decides the design is pleasing, she will lay her eggs in the middle of the nest and then take off. Females will usually choose males with the most intricate and extensive nests, typically created by the most vigorous males. The process of male water striders is known to be sexually immoral amongst insects. Female water striders have a genital shield, which functions as a chastity belt to prevent males from mating with them until, of course, they are ready. However, some male water striders use coercion and threaten females with death until they consent to mate with them. Water striders move on water surfaces due to the surface tension, and they can sense predators or prey by vibrations in the water. Nevertheless, some male water striders employ this tapping to attract predators. Then they will hop on the female's back and tap vigorously on the water's surface. Since the female is on the water with the male on her back, she is more vulnerable to being eaten by predators, and consequently, the female gives in and opens her genital shield, allowing the male to mate with her. After fertilization, the male water strider cares for the eggs until they hatch 6 days later. And after hatching, the male leaves to build a new nest, and he will repeat the process all over again. And finally, let's take a look at St. Valentine's Day origins and a little bit of folklore. Some believe it is in memory of St. Valentine's death. Others say it was an attempt by the Christian Church to Christianize the pagan festival of Lupercalia. Lupercalia was a Roman fertility festival held on February the 15th. It was dedicated to Faunus, the god of agriculture, and the founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus. During the festival, Roman priests would gather at a sacred cave where a she-wolf was believed to have cared for Romulus and Remus. They would then sacrifice a goat and use its hide to slap the women, which was said to give the crops in the fields more fertility in the coming year. And if that isn't weird enough for you, there's more. Later in the day, all the young women in the city would put their names into a big urn. The city's bachelors would each select a name from the urn, and the two would be paired up for the year. Was this the beginning of partner swapping? During the Middle Ages, people in France and England believed that February 14th marked the beginning of the bird mating season. This added to the idea that Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to mention St. Valentine's Day as a romantic celebration in his poem Parliament of Fools, where he wrote, "For this was sent on St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl cometh there to choose his mate." Valentine's greetings were popular as far back as the Middle Ages, although written valentines didn't appear before 1400. The oldest known valentine that's still in existence today was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife whilst he was imprisoned in the Tower of London following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. The greeting is now part of the manuscript collection of the British Library in London. Several years later, King Henry V is believed to have hired a writer named John Lydgate to compose a Valentine's note to Catherine of Valois. So, there you have it. Valentine's Day's history is fascinating. And that has been Wildlife Matters' look at love in the wildlife world on Valentine's Day. And remember, wild ones, love doesn't make this world go around. But all of you must be 8-legged sea creatures because you occupy our hearts. Well, isn't wildlife endlessly entertaining? Each creature brings its own unique quirks, captivating behaviours, and even some surprising romantic rituals that can certainly be described as unconventional. In the vast tapestry of nature, some animals truly struggle to find love and resort to some remarkable, if sometimes strange, methods of attracting a mate. We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all of our new subscribers on Substack and Patreon, as well as the many individuals engaging with us on social media who are now part of the Wildlife Matters community. Your support means the world to us. As our audience grows and our engagement deepens, so does our capacity to affect meaningful change for wildlife and the environments they inhabit. If you find enjoyment and value in the Wildlife Matters podcast, then please share it with your colleagues, friends, and family. Your likes and shares play a crucial role in helping fellow wildlife enthusiasts discover us in this algorithm-driven digital landscape. Looking ahead, Wildlife Matters will be venturing into the enchanting woodlands to explore one of our absolute favourite trees, the hazel. This remarkable tree is known not only for its stunning flexibility and resilience, but also for producing one of nature's most delightful treats, the hazelnut. It has countless benefits for wildlife whilst enriching the ecosystem surrounding it. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. Your being here is genuinely appreciated. Wildlife Matters will return in 2 weeks, but until then, stay safe, wild ones. This is Wildlife Matters, signing off.